Clitorati, we've got a medical professional in the studio today. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as a licensed clinical professional counselor and author of The Secure Relationship. Quick tips, a guide to getting unstuck from a negative cycle and finding attachment security with your partner. Her mission is to make the insights and practical skills she uses to treat couples in her private practice more accessible to a wider population. Please welcome Julie Menanno.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here.
Yes, we are so excited to have you here. We're actually just chatting a little bit before. I'm going to get a little vulnerable with our listeners today. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is because the type of therapy you do is actually the style of couples therapy I'm doing with my partner right now. And it's making such a profound difference that I really wanted to bring this information to our listeners, because I think that it's such a useful therapy style. And there's so much to unpack here. So a lot of our listeners do struggle with, we get a lot of letters in about emotional intimacy and communication with their partners. Can you tell us a little bit about how you approach this and a little bit about what exactly attachment theory is, which is the type of therapy that you do, right?
Yeah, well, sure. First of all, I just want to say I'm really happy to hear that you are in this type of therapy and that you're, cheerleading it, for a lack of a better word, to your huge audience right now, because it's very effective, very profound work that I think can really, change your relationship, change many people's relationships, and ultimately change the world. So that's what we're going for, is improving our world by improving our relationships with one another. So what I do is I work with, my end goal with a couple is creating greater levels of emotional and physical intimacy and problem-solving skills, navigating life together with the, lowest amount of conflict and the ability to tolerate that conflict in a way that they can, make difficult decisions together without it eroding, without them speaking about it and going through that process in a way that erodes the relationship. So what I do from there is I work backwards, right? So I'm looking for, we as humans, we're meant, our truest, most inner selves are meant to connect emotionally and physically. So something is blocking that when it's not happening. So I need to know what's blocking that. And, when it's not a situation where two partners are truly incompatible, let's say because they have major value differences, or they came together for reasons that weren't just, wanting to be with each other, financial reasons or whatever. If that's off the table, then I'm going to look at what's there, what's blocking this closeness. Now, traditionally, the way I work is I start with I start with the emotional connection, right? And I know there are some therapists out there that are starting with the physical connection right now, which I think is interesting, being on the show. But the way that I work is I'm an emotion-focused therapist. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to look at the very first block, which is the negative cycle. Has your therapist talked to you about the negative cycle?
Yes. Well, and I read a book. There's a book, I think it's called "Hold Me Tight."
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they call it the demon dialogues.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. So that book really explains it fairly well. In fact, Sue Johnson, who wrote that book, is the creator of the type of therapy that you're doing. So I'm looking at, within the negative cycle, we're always going to have a partner who's playing the anxious attachment role and a partner who's playing the avoidant attachment role. That means and 75% of women are playing the anxious role. I think a lot of that is socialization. So the anxious partner is the partner in the relationship that's trying to close the emotional distance, right? Trying to reach, trying to connect more. And the avoidant partner is the one trying to keep things from getting worse. So if you notice, they're both in a state of protecting the relationship. Sometimes it's common thought that, the anxious partner is the only one trying to, create health in the relationship, but the avoidant partner is also trying to create health, just in a very different way. In their mind, when the anxious partner brings up a concern or a reach for connection, it's like alarm bell. I don't want anything to get messed up here. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want us to get into a fight. And so then what happens is that one partner is taking too much ownership for the emotional connection, and one partner is taking less ownership for the emotional connection and more ownership for protection from conflict. And then that creates big, it ends up being that the anxious partner will often fall into a place of blame and attack. The avoidant partner then starts to retreat and shut down, and that understandably leaves the anxious partner feeling abandoned and more upset. And then as they escalate, usually the avoidant partner will initially escalate with them a lot of times, and then the avoidant partner will say, well, none of these strategies are working, and then shut it all down. But I want to put it out there that this doesn't need to start with the anxious partner. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I like to say neither. The chicken and the egg are the same. So the avoidant partner, there's flares of a negative cycle in a relationship, but really each partner is living it out under the undercurrent of the relationship when things are really in a state of distress. So what I do first is I go in, and I hope I've explained it fairly well, but I go in and I stabilize that negative cycle. I have to, before I do anything else, because the negative cycle is actually what's continuing to erode the relationship. So I have to stabilize that. Go ahead.
And is there typically like one major one, or can there be like multiple negative cycles inside of a relationship? Or is there typically like a core negative cycle that everything sort of stems from?
That's a really good question. There's the core negative cycle, and the content can change. But typically we're going to see the same pattern where one partner brings up the concern, the other partner gets defensive, the other partner feels unheard and invalidated. And what this negative cycle is it's really what's fueling it is unmet attachment needs. So we have these human attachment needs, and they're to feel close to another person, right? Yeah. We have a need, and it's extremely important to value ourselves, to be able to validate ourselves, and to have a healthy relationship with self. That really has to come first before we can. But in order to feel safe and close to another person, we have to have these attachment needs met. We have to know they value us. We have to know that our partner appreciates us, and that we can get it right for them. The bar is not going to just keep going higher and higher. Yeah. That they're going to validate us, that they want to connect with us. And there's not a ton of attachment needs. I mean, it's a pretty basic set of human needs to feel close to another person. Yeah. And those needs, the higher in the parent-child relationship and the romantic relationship, the needs are going to be a lot higher because there are more emotional stakes involved. Like the degree to which you would grieve if you lost someone is the degree to which you depend on them for emotional needs.
Got it. And so the whole, goal with this style and this philosophy is what's called like a secure attachment, right? Or a secure relationship. So for anyone who's listening, can you sort of, if they're wondering, do I have a secure relationship or not? Can you kind of describe, what is a secure relationship and how to start identifying maybe what you're attached? Because there's secure attachment style, there's anxious attachment and avoidant. Are there any other attachment styles?
Disorganized.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of its own beast.
Okay.
It's a, we'll put that one to the side for now. I have a lot of information about that on my Instagram account, and I have a Patreon club that I actually just did an entire session on disorganized.
Oh, so fantastic.
Wants to know more. But the majority of those with insecure attachments are going to fall into either the anxious or the avoidant category. Okay. And what a secure relationship looks like in a nutshell is, am I walking around this relationship 75 to 90% of the time feeling valued, appreciated, cared for, responded to, held, like I can get it, like I'm a successful partner, right? And that other, 10 to 25% of the time, when we do have these ruptures, because every couple has ruptures where those attachment needs can temporarily go offline.
Yeah.
Are we able to get back on track with each other? And how quickly are we able to get back on track with each other? So that's a secure relationship. And there's a lot, that goes into that. But ultimately, if someone is saying, hey, do I have a secure relationship? That's a question they can ask themselves is, how much of the time am I walking around feeling good? Feeling all of these attachment needs are being met. Yeah.
In terms of like a minimum viable percentage, I just want to make sure. Did you say 75% of the time or 80% of the time?
It's there's no hard, fast number, but as a couples therapist, I would say 75 to 90. No couple is going to be in a state of harmony at 100% of the time.
Oh, Julie, I don't know what you're talking about. 100% of the me and my husband, we are 100% of the time.
Except for you, sugar. Yeah.
But it's so refreshing, right? To just be like, you don't need to get 100% in life.
No.
Anything. That does not an indication of, for our relationship hypochondriacs out there, it's okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you put that out there, because people do get really, and this is the same is true with parenting too, is that we're not looking for 100% of the time. And I'll tell you another thing, if a couple, we're also looking at growth, if a couple comes to me and they're only experiencing this 10% of the time, which is very common, I'm looking for growth. I want to know, 3 months from now, have they moved up to 20%?
Yeah.
And if so, they're doing great, because we can just keep building on that growth. If a couple is capable of growing, they're capable of continuing to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to have this conversation. One of our commitments on the show is to disrupt taboo conversations. And, we've talked about sex parties and blah, blah, blah. But I think to some people, therapy can be taboo, or they think, whatever, or I don't need it. Like, maybe you're at 50% in your relationship and you just want to bump up to 90%,
Absolutely. Why not feel better? Right?
Why not? Right. Yeah. And it's like, I think that a relationship is something that you're always tending to, right? It's this living, it's almost like this third living being in the house with you, that if you, especially once you start having kids, if you stop tending to it, like the garden of your relationship, that percentage can go down, And I think therapy has been such a great way for my partner and I to really understand each other, because we think very differently. And so that percentage was, when it was good, it was really good, but it was maybe 50-50, if I'm being honest, or less than that. Right. And just being able to understand each other, and sometimes having that third person there in the room, the therapist, to be able to, I've been able to say things in session that I could have never said on my own.
Isn't that amazing?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I love about EFT. What we can uncover.
Yeah. And I can say, I would definitely be divorced at this point if I didn't do therapy. I've never done attachment style therapy, but I can confidently say my husband and I would not be together today. And now we've been together for 8 years. Well, we literally are celebrating our 5-year wedding anniversary in 4 days.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. Yeah, I love hearing that.
Thank you.
I love hearing that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Both of you are success stories.
We have a word that we say. We love puns, and so we don't say commitment. We say clitmitment. And Julie,
I love that.
Our clitmitments are huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine. I can only imagine the levels that both of your relationships can go to. Let me ask you this: what did you say when you came on? You said clitoris, or
clitorati?
I love that. I love that.
We call our clitorati, our fans, our listeners, the clitorati.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's perfect.
They're global. They're bigger than us.
Yeah. They're all over the world.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, good job. So, hello, everybody all over the world.
So Max and I are sharing, we have had, success in therapy. And funny enough, actually, it was a friend of mine who was not in a relationship who was doing this type of therapy on his own that recommended it. So I obviously, if you're single, you can still do this too, to work on
absolutely
the relationship to yourself. That's what he did. And, but so often, a lot of times, we work with women who are, wanting to bring in their partner, or even men who, we have men. How do I, we had a question recently, a man, how do I get my partner to realize that, her sex center is beautiful and magical, and they're wanting more intimacy? Like, there's usually one partner who's craving that intimacy, and probably the anxious one, and then the avoidant one. Do you have any advice for people who are like listening to this conversation right now and saying, wow, this would be amazing, I would love to do this with my partner, but their partner is resistant? Do you have any advice of, should they get started on their own? Do you have any advice of like, a way to bring a partner in who's maybe like a little resistant to therapy or to, deepening the intimacy with their partner?
Sure, I do. I have a lot of advice. It's a little bit tricky because there's so many different reasons why someone wouldn't want to come into therapy. So I'm going to be very general here.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to say is that a lot of times we have in a relationship, usually what we think of is there's three kind of broader context of negative cycles. We have the negative cycle around the emotional connection, that the cycle is going to show up in, are we feeling close and safe with each other? And we have a negative cycle around what's called caretaking, which means living a life together, taking care of a home together, parenting together. And then we have a sex cycle. And a lot of times the anxious partner in the sex cycle is the avoidant partner in the emotional cycle. That happens quite a bit, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. And then usually what happens is it's the avoidant partner who doesn't want to show up to therapy. So we have to ask why. Right? Well, the answer is that the core fear of an avoidant partner is the fear of being a failure or of being viewed as a failure. So for them, accessing any sort of help, it's immediately threatening, because first of all, there's a belief that if I need help, then that makes me weak. I'm supposed to be able to do all of this on my own, which is all functions of the avoidant attachment, usually stemming from childhood messages.
Yeah.
And then the second one is, if I go to a couples therapist, I'm just going to have to be told about and face all the things that I'm doing wrong. And their psychological structure is built up around protecting them from seeing themselves as a failure, or from their partner seeing themselves as a failure. So I think that one thing that can be extremely helpful is for the anxious partner to kind of start, the one who is fighting for therapy, right? Yeah. To really get that message across that this is a co-creation. Neither of us are more or less responsible for this. And I'm owning my part. I'm willing to fully own my part. A lot of times anxious partners get really stuck in blame. And the avoidant partner is saying, well, the last thing I want to do is go get more of that. And that happens in couples therapy. I mean, I think it's as couples therapists get, better at what we're doing, we're realizing, hey, it's really easy for a couples therapist to start colluding with the anxious partner, because the anxious one is sitting here telling us everything the other one's doing wrong.
Got it.
While the avoidant partner is just kind of sitting there, not saying as much. So I think what we need to do first is we need to create safety for the partner who doesn't want to go. However, we have to do that. When an anxious partner calls me and says my husband or my wife doesn't want to come, what I say is, please just get them through the door for one session. Just one session. I promise you, there's a very good chance that if you can get them in for one session, I can help them feel safe. I can help them know this is not an environment where you're going to be the bad guy.
Right.
In fact, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to understand you. I'm going to validate you. And this person may have never shown up enough ever in their life to have even experienced validation. So when they come in and I help them feel that safety and help, they're extremely actually eager to come back. So just to kind of go full circle, somehow we need to create safety around the process. We need to create reasons for buy-in. As soon as an anxious partner starts, and again, I don't want to make it as if everything is on the anxious partner. That's a real, tricky place in my work.
Yeah.
But anxious partners do need to step back and create space for the avoidant partner to face their own desire for relationship growth. And when the anxious partner is pushing for it nonstop, it's not allowing the avoidant partner to step up and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe I want this too. And it's interesting because if I have an avoidant partner, let me just say this again, this is just kind of how it is right now. Hopefully sex stereotypes will change. But if a male calls me for therapy, I can almost guarantee that the situation is what I call an anxious partner burnout, meaning the anxious partner has burnt out and stopped trying. And that's actually created space for the avoidant partner to now want from themselves.
Oh,
from
got
inside themselves. They're not just being dragged. So
yeah.
And this all ties into sex too, is a lot of, and I'm sure that both of you will agree with me that we need to, a lot of times couples need to make, or partners need to make space for each other to feel their own desire.
Yeah. Let's
there's too much pressure.
Let's I love that you just said that. Like, let's dive into that. So there were three buckets that you talked about. Obviously, Clit Talk. We want to talk about the sex bucket a little bit here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite topic.
Yeah. So let's talk about the sex part. And so say what you just said again. That was so brilliant. You got to leave space for both partners to experience desire.
Yes. And that's what really hit me about this question that you received from this man who says, I can't remember the wording, but how do I convince my wife that her body is beautiful?
Yeah.
She needs to convince herself. It's not, he needs to step back and let whatever happen, there's a lot of different ways to go about it, but she needs to be taking ownership of her own adoration of her amazing body.
Yeah. Because how not hot is it, right? If my partner comes to me and is like, oh, my body's so shitty. Like, babe, don't you think this part of my body sucks? Like, should I just be, what if I look like Brad? I don't know why I just randomly came up with the name Brad, but okay, there's
sorry to any Brads out there.
Sorry, Brad, we love you. I don't know. Yeah. But right. I would just be like, what is this? What is this conversation right now?
Absolutely.
Right. And I know that my partner's not comfortable with his body at the moment, which has been something he's shared. We're non-monogamous. So something that we navigate is boundaries around group play and dating other people. And one of his points of insecurities in the group play space has been just not feeling his best physically, because he recovered from a knee surgery 2 years ago, and just hasn't been able to run ever since. And he's a runner, so he's just it's really weighed on him a lot.
That's hard on him.
But I'm just I don't know. I'm just the dad bod is so hot to me. Every time we're in bed together, I'm just you're so fucking hot. And I don't know if it's a too much, but that's also an internal conversation I have. I don't want to be too much, but then I always end up being too much. So it's fine. But I do say to him, every time we are together, it's real for me though. I'm just you're so sexy. I'm drool over him sometimes. I'm just you're so hot. I love your, and then it's funny because he'll be well, thanks. I'm really going to work on my, this hip area though. And I'm just I love the hips, I just do what I can. I'm into it. But I get that it doesn't matter. No matter how many times I say, you're so sexy, I want to fuck your brains out.
Well, so what would a partner do in that situation? If you're how do you best leave space for your partner?
I think it depends on the intention. Are you expressing your own thoughts and feelings and the fact that you truly are attracted to that, or are you trying to convince him to be okay with himself? I think where it crosses that line is where we start to get into this controlling place, and all of this work, all of the insecure attachment, problems with sex, it's all about giving up control, all of it. And so if you're in a place of kind of trying to control him by convincing him, even kind of subtly. And of course we all want to encourage our partners to feel good about themselves. So that's not, we always have to look at that balance. But if you're in a place of trying to control you, that's the point at which you're trying to take too much ownership of his feelings about himself.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't do that. I'm just telling him I'm turned on. I'm just being you're hot.
Yeah. Then I don't see anything wrong with that.
Thank you. Okay. That's good to know, because
in fact, it's probably good. It's good for him, I think, if that's genuinely your experience, which I am very much hearing that it is. It's great.
It is. It's good.
I like it's good dad bod.
I love me a dad bod. I'm kind of like, don't ever go back. Like,
honestly, I think that is just,
especially when you love the person,
so sweet. There's just something so sweet about that. I love it.
I have so much respect for my partner because he met me when I was 20 and he's 15 and a half years older than me. And the respect that I have for that man is so infinite at this point. He was so patient with me. I mean, he literally met me with all my wounds. Like I was, and loved me through all of it and was so patient with me. And I feel like I've become the woman I always wanted to be a lot faster than I would have had I not been in this container of this relationship. So I mean, it took a lot of years to have this respect. I used to be a bratty little cunt to him and try to dominate him.
That's a technical term.
This morning. Yeah.
Well,
but I used to be very controlling and see how far I could push and how much, and money was definitely something that was interesting. And I was playing with my power dynamics with that. But yeah, once COVID hit, we were together. I think it was like I'd been together for a total of 5-6 years, and that space in the pandemic, right? And just that continued partnership. Our relationship definitely got tested, but, I'm 28 now, and I feel like I have so much perspective this deep into the relationship that I just look back and I'm like, you're fucking amazing. Like, what you're crazy, but like, what were you doing? Like, what were you, thank you. Right. Like, thank you for waiting and being with me through, I mean, I kind of make a joke, but like he kind of practically raised me in a way. He met me.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. 20 years old. I was out of control. Lindsay's known me since I'm 20. I was out of control.
She was a little wild. But I think you point to something that a lot of our we get a lot of, so there's, to kind of bring it back to this whole desires conversation, leaving space for your partner to feel desired. The other flip side the question we get a lot is, people wanting to feel desired by their partners or wanting to, they feel that, they're always the one to initiate having sex or cultivating intimacy, or the only one driving that. How best do people, what do we do in that situation?
Well, okay. So one of the approaches, I like to, look at things from all different angles, right? Yeah. And so one of the approaches is looking at the couple's sex cycle. Remember, we talked about a minute ago the negative cycle. Well, couples can get stuck in a negative sex cycle where one partner's over pursuing and that's pushing the other partner away. And again, this is all, what do humans do? What do humans do when we feel insecure? We try to control, right? Period. That's what we do, is we try to get control of our outside environment. And ideally, we're going to try to get control of our inside environment. And so when there's a negative sex cycle, if there's an insecurity fueling it, and of course, everybody wants to be desired and everybody wants to, have a healthy sex life. Yeah. But it starts delving into this kind of area of power control that's an absolute sex buster. And it also starts to take on this kind of tricky version of a parent-child dynamic where one person is constantly saying, mommy, 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 mommy. And it's kind of like what you're saying, Sugar. It's not sexy, right? And I don't know if you weren't specifically referring to that, but you did say, if someone's coming to you saying, I'm so ugly, I'm this, I'm that, it's not sexy. And that parent-child dynamic that is showing up in the emotional relationship is often coloring the sexual relationship. And so the first thing that we would want is for the pursuing partner to back off and to stop pursuing and to create some space. Do I know what's going to happen exactly when that happens? No, but it is the first thing that needs to happen because there's too much pressure in the system and it's not allowing ownership for both parties. Then there's so many other factors that are going into it. For example, some people are just kind of chronically in a negative state, right? Yeah. Their energy is negative. Well, negative energy doesn't really fuel erotic feelings. Right. Yeah. Right. So there's wonders that can be done just by learning to meditate and find a more positive spiritual place within yourself. to allow more of those good feelings in. You know, people who are stressed with life and anxious and feeling depressed, they're obviously, you know, we know that there's, you know, it's a scientific fact that there's lower libido that's going to come from that. So however you need to get to that mental place. And then, I can't remember the next thing I was going to say. I know what it,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I know what it was. I was going to ask you because it's very common. What I've seen is that as couples get closer to each other emotionally and grow in therapy, sometimes that can actually cause their sex life to suffer. And I wanted to know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, a little bit, to be totally honest. We've been in therapy for quite a few months, and we're dealing to be totally honest, at first it brought up like all this shit. It almost felt like it got worse before it got better, to be totally honest, because there was so much that I think we were suppressing and withholding from each other. And we've been doing so much emotional work that for a while, it was almost like sex was too much. We were too fragile, and we needed to really reestablish that secure foundation. But then once that was there, the sex got way better and more frequent once that was reestablished.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is as your emotional connection goes up, your sexual connection either goes up or maintains the strength that was already there.
Yeah. Does that sometimes not happen for couples?
Sometimes not.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes the opposite happens, because what happens is the emotional connection can actually start to feel really vulnerable and scary. And that can bleed over into the sexual relationship.
Oh, interesting.
Sugar, you're nodding your head. Does that?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I know when we were really going through, when we were inside of our therapy, when we were really working on our relationship weekly with a therapist, sex was kind of difficult. Like it felt forced almost. It felt like, but it felt needed at the same time. It was sort of confusing. It was like, we'd want to do it, but at the end we felt like, did we force that? Cause that didn't feel like what it used to do but it just took time to authentically build back that desire. Yeah. I also am the one in the relationship who was like, I'll fuck you anyway, any day, anytime. And that's so not my partner, you know, and so I've learned also like what for myself, you know, I realized that I only really want to have sex when my partner desires it. So just recognizing that I'm going to feel shitty if I try to force my if I try to hard sell my partner on making love to me, you know, I might be able to, and eventually might be able to. It's not going to leave me feeling the way that I want to feel. So it took me a couple years of fighting myself inside of that dynamic to realize this ends the same every time.
Yeah.
And then I really
own it.
Yeah. I'm just going to own it. And then, but yeah, I think that, the conversations can be the orgasms, right? Like when you're really working on, fortifying the foundation of your emotional intimacy, those conversations can be orgasmic. There can be, even though there's pain, there's also pain and pleasure are the same coin. So there's so much pleasure that when we're not used to going there with each other, they can become the new, right? Like it could turn you on, you know, if you allow it to, right? Whereas I know some people who are not talkers, they're like, communicating is like just shuts them down. It's not their forte, or it's not their expression, right? For both me and my husband, you know, we did, just like Lindsay and I, we met in a communication coaching program.
Yeah.
So we love talking. That's why we're best friends. Me and Lindsay, we just are like,
we have a podcast. We like to talk.
We love to talk. And my husband and I, we do love to talk. So I do feel a little bit blessed in that arena that for us, those dialogues were orgasmic for us, and they were did allow us to eventually get to a really deep place in our sex life once again. You know, I was worried. I was like, you know, I was worried that we lost the spark, but no, it's only grown and gotten better. But of course, there's going to be ebbs and flows, and you know, there's definitely been moments in our relationship where I was just like, is the sex ever gonna be as good as it was again? Yeah. Once you do the work, that's the I feel like that's the reward, is like, right.
Well, I will be
to get to the next level.
There was like a moment in time when we before we started, the only time I would really feel intimate with my partner is when we were cuddling. And I noticed about myself that I was very much wanted him to do everything with me. And I needed, like, I was like, if you don't cuddle with me enough in the morning, I was like very upset because it was like the only sort of intimacy I was feeling with him at the time. But now that we're in better communication, I feel a lot more independent. I don't need as much cuddling.
Secure.
Yeah, I feel more secure. And with that security, I'm like, because for so long he was like, he's not as social as me. He's like, please go have girls' nights, but I would make him do everything with me. And now I'm like, okay, cool. You stay home. I'm going to go have a girls' night. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. And I notice, like, the more secure I feel, the more independent I feel, the more happy I feel. I don't need that cuddling. I don't need sex in the same way that I did. Now it gets to be this creation between us, you know, before where I think it would have felt forced when I wasn't feeling as secure. And now it's like,
I think I hear what you're saying. It's not, you're not using sex as a way to feel secure. Yeah. You're using it as a way to connect.
Yes. And that's a very different way of having sex.
It really is.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Ooh, that was hot.
And I just want to say too, that period that some couples go through, because I don't want to scare anyone.
Yeah.
That period where they start to build their emotional connection and it can hurt their sex life. There is, you know, the goal is to work through that. And most couples, if they keep working, what it is they're learning to know themselves in a new, deeper way.
Yeah.
And again, that brings up a lot of vulnerability. I'm showing you more of myself. And that vulnerability can show up during sex and create some feelings of discomfort. And, you know, Esther Perel says that the emotional connection of the relationship is very different from the sexual connection. Yes, there's overlap, but there's also, you know, our emotional safety, caretaking, love selves, and then there's our erotic, playful selves. Yep. And a lot of times when couples start to really dive into that emotional connection part, they can start to lose some of that eroticism. So it, like you said, with the garden, it takes work to keep that part alive. Yeah. And it's very, very much worth it.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think that, like I said before, even if you're not in a relationship, this work, and we've alluded to it a few times in this conversation, you really have to do the internal work first, right? Like if your own personal garden isn't tended to, there's no way you're going to be able to like merge it with someone else's garden. I don't know where this garden analogy came from, but I'm using it a lot now.
It's synchronicity because I was sitting on my balcony tending to my little, you know, tiny little balcony garden yesterday. And I thought, I'm tending to this garden right now. And I haven't been like probably giving my husband enough attention.
Yeah. Oh,
and I thought, this is kind of messed up. I'm out here, you know, obsessively clipping at my geraniums, and I shifted gears at that point when intended to the other.
Yeah, well, and that's great. That's I love that. I love that analogy. And you said something earlier in the conversation. You know, we say it's like being in your pleasure, and that's really what we, you know, teach in our online courses. It's like standing and discovering your own pleasure, right, is like the sexiest thing you can do, right? So if you want to start the intimacy conversation, whether it's with yourself or with your partner, you got to start with your own pleasure and authentically discovering what that is for you. And then you can really jump into work like this and take it to the next level, which I think is obviously, it's important to me. That's why I brought you on this conversation. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for coming on today. This was a really incredible conversation. Thank you for coming and just sharing your knowledge, your Instagram. I found you on Instagram. Her Instagram is incredible. You have an incredible book, and it's a lot of it's quick tips around like a secure relationship, which I think is so fantastic for people. Tell our listeners the best way that they can keep in touch with you. Where can they find you if they want to work with you? I know you mentioned you have a Patreon. Share all those links with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have an Instagram called @thesecurerelationship, and there are currently 10 plus imposter accounts.
Oh no.
And I know it's horrible. And I can't, for some reason I can't get verified. So it's hard to distinguish me. So, and some of these imposter accounts actually have a lot of followers. They're identical. So the only way to find me is that I just got like over 900,000 followers. So that's the only.
We'll make sure to put your accurate link in the show notes for people. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. It's just at The Secure Relationship, all one word, no dots, no lines. It's all spelled correctly. And then from there, if you go to thesecurerelationship.com, you can find what it is the only book available right now is a little 6x6 hardcover with Instagram posts. Okay. And it's just something that people like to have on the bedside table to just flip through and find some inspiration. A lot of avoidant partners it's great for because it's not something dense that they have to dive into. And then I'm currently have a big book coming out. I'm working with Simon & Schuster on that. And it's going to be kind of walking couples through the process of what I do.
Amazing.
With couples who don't have access to therapy of their own. That, it was a May 23 release, but we've just pushed it back to December 23 just to keep it.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that book. Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much. And thank you. I love that you're making this accessible to, people that part of the reason we had this conversation is maybe you don't have access to therapy, but there are resources out there like your books, which are amazing, great place to start for people as well. So thank you so much. This was amazing. We really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, this was a great episode. So, and with that, Clitorati, we're going to see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.